Apple's iPhone 12, probably the most anticipated iPhone in many years, mainly because it's got 5G, but a whole new look, new design, new colours, and a bit of controversy. A lot of people here wanting to ask questions and maybe wanting to take a look, but we're going to take it on the street and just see how it goes. Let's start with the elephant in the room. What comes in the box? I'm not sure Apple communicated this very well during the keynote. You can still charge the iPhone 12 with your existing Lightning adapter. The difference is, here inside the boxes for both the iPhone 12 and the 12 Pro, there's nothing to charge it with. There's no brick and there's no headphones. So what you get is a USB-C to Lightning adapter. Also, pretty useless to most people if you haven't already got a USB-C style power brick. Compare that to, say, the last year's iPhone 11. This is the Pro Max. You'll see you get a large power adapter, you get headphones, and you get a Lightning cable. Now, that's a big difference for Apple. They claim it's for environmental reasons. There's a lot of saving in not building one of these and not making these. You've got to give that to them. But there's also a huge saving in shipping, not having to send such big boxes. So there's a cost saving there as well. The bottom line, I think most people have got a power brick. I think most people have a charging cable. And a lot of people will realize that USB-C in cars and in laptops is the way to go. So this cable will probably come in very, very handy. The most important aspect, I think, of the iPhone 12 is design. This is a radical new design for Apple. It's the first real redesign in 6 years. Apart from removing the home button with the iPhone 10, there's been no radical change. The curved edges have been there since the iPhone 6. Now, many people say this is a harp back to the iPhone 5, the iPhone 4. It is in the fact that it's a squared edge instead of the curved edge, but it's all the little things that really close up. There's no edges here that link together like there was with the 5. The screen isn't this separate piece like there was with the 5 and the 4. It really is kind of one unit. There's no bumps between the edges, and I think that's what Apple have tried to do by going back to this flat look design. And personally, I think this is a much fresher and more modern look than what we've had now for 6 years. Now, iPhone 12 and 12 Pro are identical in size. The 12 Max and the Mini will come in mid-November. We'll get to those later. But for that reason, the cases for the 12 match the 12 Pro and vice versa. So this is the new MagSafe compatible case for the iPhone 12. You can see that ring around it. That indicates where the magnets are now in the back of this phone. That's going to allow things like this new MagSafe charger to just snap on, wirelessly charge, magnetically attached. And most importantly, I think too, for a bit of fun, when you snap on these covers, there's a display on the screen that comes up that shows you what color you've just attached. And by the way, the MagSafe adapter doesn't come with a charging brick, so you'll need something like this Belkin GAN USB-C compatible charging brick, which this then plugs into to get your wireless charging going. Now, the reason the phone can recognize that this is a green case is because every MagSafe accessory can have NFC built in, and there's a separate NFC tag in the back, separate to the one that is used for Apple Pay, which allows accessories to be recognized. So we've come out to Western Sydney, Rose Hill, where I am confident there's 5G. I've been here before. That is the Vodafone tower, and I'm pretty sure there might be some Telstra 5G up there as well. We're going to search for all three carriers because I've got SIM cards to test from all of them. And what I want to know is there any difference, which one's better, and just how well the iPhone 12 performs. What's remarkable about this location, despite the fact that it's an empty construction block behind us, is I'm sure there'll be people here that want 5G at some point. There's apartments and houses all around us. But this is where Vodafone's first 5G site was. I tested it right here with other phones and got hundreds and hundreds of megabytes. Unfortunately, I can't get over 200. In fact, I'm struggling to get 200 on Vodafone on both the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro. On Telstra, I've had up to 870, consistently over 500 meg speed. So Telstra's performance on both the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro, on par, if not as good as every other 5G phone I've tested. But now, I need to go and find some Optus 5G coverage. We're on the hunt. I've come to, obviously, Homebush here, the Olympic precinct in Sydney. Telstra 5G, tick, 600 at first attempt. Optus 5G doesn't exist, despite the fact that the Optus map clearly indicates there should be 5G here. So you have to keep hunting. All right, so a lot of hunting required to find Optus 5G coverage. Now, a couple of things. I signed up to an Optus SIM card this morning, and I was driving around thinking there should be 5G, much more of it, according to the map. So I thought maybe my account is not enabled for 5G. I rang the store I got it from, I went to another store and got them to tick the box for 5G. So make sure that if you're an Optus customer, you've actually got them to tick the box for 5G. Once we've done that, about 20 minutes later, I got myself a 5G signal. Sure, another construction site, but hey, that's where Bunnings is going to be. So this is home to a lot of us. A good 5G signal here. I'm standing pretty much under the tower, getting 400 odd megabits per second. So slower than Telstra, I would say, in the same conditions, close to the tower, but still excellent speeds, far greater than you're getting today on 4G. Just got to go hunting for it. So for me, it's Telstra for 5G, Optus pretty good 5G. Vodafone have a long way to go on their 5G. Now, something I did discover, critical thing. If you're running dual SIM, which I'm doing here on both these phones, if both SIMs are active, you will not get 5G on either of them. So you need to disable one of the lines, as they call them in America. You need to disable one of the SIMs to allow the other one to connect on both data and 5G. So if you've got a dual SIM connection, you've got two SIMs in there and you're not getting 5G, that's why. So there's two critical things about the iPhone 12 that are important to mention. The A14 Bionic chip that powers all four of the iPhone 12 models, including this iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 Pro. That's the most powerful processor Apple's making, and there's no doubt its performance is beyond anything else you can buy in the market. You probably won't notice it coming from an iPhone 11, but if you're coming up from those 6s, 7s, 8s, you really get a jump in performance. Launching apps, playing games, high activity apps like games and videos, that's really going to be where you're going to see the performance increase. The other one's the camera. And now this is a tough one because honestly, from the 11 to the 12, it's not a huge change except on the Pro. You get that LiDAR sensor, and that LiDAR sensor is sending out signals to find out where things are around you. Fantastic for augmented reality, but also for cameras. It means that autofocus happens in an instant. So at night specifically, with the iPhone Pro, you're going to get an almost instant autofocus, despite the fact that the camera can't yet see the person. That plus night mode on the selfie cameras really elevates the 12 above the 11. But again, it's a step jump, not a revolution. Those earlier model phones, this is an unbelievable revolution in cameras. There's no hiding the fact that 5G is the most important part of the iPhone 12. Apple's own invitation to the event said high speed. Verizon, one of America's biggest telcos, on stage at the event said 5G just got real, despite the fact that we've had 5G for 18 months, despite the fact that many competitors have had 5G for that amount of time. A bit of a slap in the face to those other manufacturers. The iPhone with 5G normalizes 5G. It makes it real for all consumers. But despite the iPhone having 5G, even Telstra, the biggest 5G network in Australia, only covers 40% of the population. So we've got a long way to go. 5G is not the reason to buy the iPhone, but it's the same with this car. Why do you need an Audi R8 that costs $300,000 and goes faster than you'll ever need? Because at some point, if you wanted to, you could take it to the track, you could take it to a drag strip, you could race it, you could make it go fast. 5G, when it's available, where it's available, you can take advantage of it, but it's not a reason to buy the iPhone. Honestly, for me, I do think the design matters. I do think people will buy this phone because it's a fresh look for the first time in 6 years. I love the fact that they've got colors, and for me, blue's the pick. This iPhone is better than any iPhone they've had before. The cameras are much better. The night mode photography available will change a lot of people's photography, but it's really only incremental. 5G is the big step forward. The design is a big step forward. If you've got an iPhone 11, if you've got an iPhone XS, if you've got an iPhone 10, I don't know that it's worth the upgrade. A 10, maybe, but certainly if you're rocking a 6, a 7 or an 8, the iPhone 12 is going to be a huge leap forward for you, despite the fact that you might not need or use 5G. Hey, it looks beautiful, camera's outstanding, it's once again an unbelievable phone, and of course, it's Apple's best. They're not going to go backwards. Full review, full details at EFTM.com.